ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
This station is a proud member of the Ship Share program, encouraging travelers to take
Aegis Combat Assist activated. Systems green. Launch complete.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Contact.
Warning, you are blocking an active flight lane. Please vacate the vicinity.
Contact.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the channel.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Proximity alert. Head. Proximity alert. Head. Automated landing initiated.
So I gotta restart my game real quick. I didn't have my controller plugged in whenever I started it up, so it's not picking it up. I've been playing for about a year though.
Landing complete. Have a
Weapon
pleasant
systems
stay.
offline.
What about you? Do you play? Yeah, I can give you a hand. And just feel free to ask whatever questions you have. I mean, if you liked Eve, then you'll love this game too. So right now, inside the game, you can do obviously combat missions, whether it's first-person shooter or space combat or atmosphere combat. Trading, you can do delivery missions, you can do mining. Bounty hunting's another big thing, whether it's players or NPCs. There's also exploration, so you can go explore all the planets. Right now I'm just trying to get in my friend's server. There's a patch coming up probably next week or so. Right now it's being tested, but it'll have prison gameplay as well. It'll add 3 new moons to one of the planets. So right now there's you don't lose anything. If you get blown up, you just call your ship back. There might be there's a time delay, so the bigger the ship, the longer the delay is. But like starting ships are it's like a 2-minute wait. Currently there's no downside to dying in the game. When the game comes out, there will be. Have you actually started playing yet?
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
So far the safest thing to do would be like delivery missions, just starting off. But you have to have a ship that has a cargo hold. Or some way to store a box in it. For example, this ship, there's no cargo space, it's just a single-seater fighter. So I couldn't do any kind of trading or, delivery missions. Okay, but you know the basics. You know how to get to your ship, how to, spawn a ship, how to get in it. That's really that's the hardest part for people who just start the game.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green. Launch complete.
Thank you.
Landing gear retracted.
I mean, that's the best way to start off. Just watching some videos and see how to do things. They're also, once you buy the game and you got the starter package, comes with one ship, you don't have to spend any more money in the game. Everything else you can buy in the game, or you can rent it in the game. There's no monthly subscription, nothing like that. Yeah, so the Alpha is more of a fighter. The Freelancer, that's a cargo ship.
Quantum travel initiated.
Yeah, but like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna just go do some NPC bounties, probably steal a ship or two. So this is a stealth fighter. It's a interdiction ship. It has a EMP. It's not too bad armored. It has 3 shields, but it only has 2 weapons, that makes it, not very strong. Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I've been playing this game for about a year. Once you get the controls down, it's really easy to get going. Once you select a destination on the map, a little triangle will appear somewhere on your screen, and then you just aim your ship towards it. Then your radar at the bottom of your screen right there will also show a line in the direction that your waypoint is. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite ships. It can't do much besides combat, though. That's the only downside. So I don't know how much you know, but I'll go over a couple things real quick. At the bottom is all your little tabs. This is for missions, to repair your vehicle when you're on a pad. I have no idea what this does. Like, nothing has ever showed up for me. This one is just a journal. If you have a crime stat or something like that, it'll tell you all about it. Each section, I guess, of the system has their own jurisdiction. So, like, for example, Hurston, it tells you what the felonies are, what's authorized, not authorized to do here, prohibited goods. And each location, authorizes something, or different things than other places. So what's illegal in one area might not be illegal in a different area. Obviously, your map, your first-person equipment, your armor, weapons, your ship loadout, and then just your comms. Yep, exactly. So each system is different. So, for example, this place, Slam and Widow, they're drugs. They're prohibited in ArcCorp. They're prohibited in Hurston. But they're authorized in People's Alliance, basically Grimhex area. Grimhex is more like a pirate base. You can do whatever you want there, basically. So right now, they turn. So before, when you travel, when you quantum travel, there was events that could happen. You could be stopped by the police. You could be stopped by pirates, and basically they'll pull you out of quantum travel, and the police would scan you and make sure you don't have anything that's illegal in that in their area, and then pirates would just attack you to try to kill you. There were some bugs. You would spawn, or like you'd stop your quantum travel and you'd fly like right into one of their ships. So they turned that off right now until they got that fixed. But players can still do that to you. Players can still pull you out of quantum travel. But it requires a specialty ship to do it.
Quantum travel complete. Contact. Proximity alert. In. Contact.
So the top right is my target. Top left is my ship status. The Hammerhead is a massive ship. I'll probably steal that once I'm done here. So I disabled it with my EMP, so right now it won't do anything. This guy's my bounty target. Right now, no. You can just steal their ship.
Port shield under fire. Proximity alert port. Proximity alert overhead. Engines destroyed.
And I just ran into an asteroid.
Rear shield under fire. Port shield under fire. Proximity alert dead.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Didn't see the asteroid. But I'll give you a little demonstration of how to steal ships. So right now, you can steal ships. For example, I can steal this NPC ship, and the only benefit is it's a ship I don't own, but all the turrets will have NPC gunners. So besides stealing NPC ships, you can't get gunners any other way besides having players, man your ship. There's two ways to do this. EMP right now is bugged. So if you hit any NPC ships from like 200 meters or less, it'll completely disable them. The second way to get the ship to stop is just exit your ship and let them blow up your ship, and then once your ship is gone, whether you're alive or not, all the NPC ships will stop flying and they'll just sit there. So my ship's disabled. Like the engine's blown up. It's useless now. After I get done, I'll reclaim it. There's 15 minutes. I'll get the ship back for free, or I can expedite it for like 600 credits, and I'll get it back in 2 minutes. So normally when you come up to a ship, you can't interact with any of the doors if it's not your ship or your party. So what you do is you do damage to the doors, and once you do enough damage, it'll allow you to interact with it. So for example, I can't do anything with this door right now. You don't have to move it around. I just do it just to do it. It's boring just sitting here. So this door's kind of bugged. As you can see, I'm not actually hitting it. It's going into it. Whereas right here, you can see I'm actually hitting the ship. So NPCs currently in ships, they don't move around. They'll sit in their seats or their guns, and that's it. So I can walk around this whole ship and I won't see anyone unless I go to their turrets or their seats. But now I'm in the ship. You can do this to any NPC ship. This is just the one that was left. This also comes with 8 turrets, which will be manned. They're a little distorted. So right now you can't sell the ships, you can't sell their cargo, but like I was saying, is now I have a ship that has full crew basically. Eventually you'll be able to sell the cargo of the ship, but you won't be able to sell the ship itself. So now when I go to fight another bounty or whatever, I have 8 turrets that will fight with me. Basically, I'm their captain now. Stolen ships don't remain in your collection just until either it blows up or I get out of it. But yeah, basically this is just a better gunship now. Thorn, this is a Hammerhead. This is I think it's a cruiser size ship. Downside, it is extremely slow. But it has massive firepower. I think this one costs like 5 million or something like that. I'm not sure. I've never actually looked to buy it yet. So sometimes it bugs when you're trying to jump. All you do is just move the cursor away and put it back.
Quantum travel initiated.
So, yes and no. So you can do any mission with a stolen ship except for bounties. In order for bounties to count, you have to get the killing blow. And the pilot seat of this ship doesn't have any weapons besides missiles. So I could missile the hell out of a ship and hopefully kill it. But any other mission that is not a bounty mission, like if it's just destroyed 20 enemies, then this ship will work fine. Personally, I like stealing the Valkyries or the Cutlass Blacks because they still give you gunners, but you also have weapons as well. Later on, though, you can steal like NPC ships, and they'll actually have cargo in them, and you can sell the cargo. It's not in the game yet. And then same thing with player ships. You can steal a player ship and sell their cargo, but you can't do it yet. This is just a great way to fly other ships. Maybe you want to buy one of these and you don't have it, so you can steal it and test fly it, see if you like it. But this is also the only way to get NPC gunners, at least for now.
Quantum travel initiated.
Like I said, though, this ship is extremely slow. And don't try to stop on a dime, because you won't.
Contact.
And this ship's a tank too, so.
Air shield under fire. Starboard shield.
Like I said, the downside of this ship though is the pilot has no guns, so you just a taxi. But they're pretty much all dead now. So, I mean, that's the benefit of stealing ships. I like the Valkyries though. They're basically drop ships, but they have so many guns in that thing. It has 2 door gunners, or 2 door guns, 2 turrets, 2 remote turrets, and then the pilot has a couple guns as well. But yeah, I don't like this ship that much. I mean, it's fun to like show off.
Self-destruct initiated.
It's a huge ship though. It's gonna blow up any second though. That's one of the NPC gunners. I'm gonna go and do some first-person shooter missions real quick. So, if you ever run into this problem, whenever you die, you might get a black screen. It's a bug. Easiest way to do it is press Y. Y is basically get out of bed, get out of any kind of seat. Because what it is you're actually in the game. It's just for some reason the screen won't load. After you push Y, just wait a couple seconds. So, like right now, he's climbing out of bed. After you wait a couple seconds, hold backspace and you'll commit suicide. Yeah, basically you just respawn, recall your ship, and do whatever you want to do again. Now, when the game releases, there'll be a permadeath. Basically, you can die a set number of times. I don't know what the number is, but let's say it's 5. First time you die, you'll get like a prosthetic arm. And the second time, you'll get a prosthetic leg or an eye or something like that. After the set number of times, so let's say 5 times, after the 5th time you die, then you're dead. And what it is all your money, all of your ships and items will go to your next of kin, basically just another character. And you basically start there. Basically, so from my understanding so far, the only thing you lose is like reputation. So let's say you became the biggest, baddest little pirate out there. You know, everyone fears you and everything like that, and then you die, and now your son or daughter or nephew, whoever, will then become your player now, and they'll get all your items, all your ships, all your money, but they just don't have that reputation. So, for example, so my Raven just got, well, it didn't get blown up, but it's left out there. All you do is claim it. It'll say, I'll get it back in 15 minutes, or I can expedite it for, 553, currency. It drops down based off of time, but I'll get it back in 2 minutes and 50 seconds instead. Hey White, how you doing? That's the only thing that happens currently whenever your ship blows up or anything like that. Like this one's destroyed.
Your ship has been delivered to the following.
Well, hey, welcome to the game, brother. Oh, nice. So, like right now, there's no issues. Ships have insurance, so to speak, but right now it does nothing. Insurance won't start counting until the game actually releases. So if you have 6-month insurance, it's not counting down now. Once the game releases, it'll start counting down. The way insurance is going to work, as of now at least, your ship blows up, and you do exactly what I just did right here. Once that insurance expires, then your ship blows up, and you got to pay X amount more money. You don't have to buy a new ship, but you just pay more money. Insurance is just like a lower cost to get your ship back. Sorry, my daughter was trying to talk to me. Alright, so since there's some new people here, whenever you do delivery missions, so basically once your insurance expires, you'll buy new insurance for however much insurance is going to cost. But if you don't, then you run into that problem. Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm not really a fan of mining. It's that, and trading to me currently is just boring. Once they have the dynamic economy in, then it might be more interesting. But right now, I mean, besides making money, because you can make a ton of money, trading and mining. But I don't like sitting there and doing nothing. But if you start doing delivery missions, you'll see things like this at whatever location you got to go to. You'll click to pick up, a box will appear inside here. You'll pick it up, take it to your ship, and then wherever it tells you to drop it off at, you'll see the same thing. You'll see a box like this. You'll just click drop off. It'll tell you to put the package inside, and that's it for that. I mean, the best part about this game is you can do anything. If you like mining and trading, get a big mining ship or a big trading ship. For like co-op, you can either have them be like your gunner in the ships, or have them fly a fighter to defend you or protect you or whatever. Yeah, I mean that's what these are. For trading and stuff, that's what these terminals are. Every major city and every space station has them. They're always near something that's labeled as admin. That's where you'll find the trading stations. Basically, you'll click buy, you'll click your ship, wherever you want to put it, and then you'll select whatever good you want to buy. after you select your goods, you'll slide this bar over to how much you want to purchase, and then you'll click purchase or buy or whatever the name is. When you go to your location that you want to sell it at, you'll go to sell, select whatever ship has the goods. Right here will be a list of what you have in your ship. You'll click it, slide the bar how much you want to sell, and that's it. These terminals, they look different at all the places, but they're the same concept. The way you buy it and sell it, it's all the same. So any ship that has an interior can do packages. Basically the basic delivery missions. But you have to have a ship that has a cargo hold in order to buy cargo. So this ship has an interior, but it doesn't have what's considered a cargo hold. So I can't actually purchase trade goods. I can, however, pick up a box, bring it in here, and then, take it to wherever I need to go. You always want to make sure you close your ramp. If you land somewhere and you leave your ramp down, someone can steal your ship. A couple of them I bought with in-game money. CIG gave me one for a contest they did. Actually, they gave me this ship. And then a couple of them I bought with real money. This is the Vanguard Warden. It's a heavy fighter. It's a multi-crew ship. There's a turret up here. And there's a command console right here. Everything can be done by the pilot solo except for the turret up top. That's where the co-op will come in. All of these they're called multi-function displays. You can change all of them. You can modify things. For example, this is it's called, when you click on the menu, it's called heat. It brings this up. This shows you all your signatures: your heat signature, your EM signature, and your IR signature. These signatures indicate how far away you can be detected at. So the lower the signature, the closer the ship has to be to actually detect you. This ultimately is going to be your stealth. If you click on items in this screen, this is all your ship components. You can overclock them to make them, work better, but it does more damage to the component over time. Currently, it's not an issue. Just blow your ship up, reclaim your ship, whatever. But eventually, you'll actually have to repair them if you want to, keep them. Overclocking weapons will make them fire faster. Shields will make them recharge faster. Your power plant, which is these, if I overclock these, it'll just give me more power. The coolers right now cannot be overclocked, so there's nothing you can do for that. This is your shields. So right now all of them are set at 100%. I can adjust the shields by the number pad by default. So if I push 8 on the number pad, you'll see how the back and sides goes down, but the forward shield goes up. If I click 8, see right now they all went to 63. If I click 8 again, they'll drop down more, but the front shield will go up more. You can do it to any of your shields. To reset it, you just push... Yeah, I push 5 and it resets them all back to default. These are your weapons. Shows you all my weapons. Currently all my weapons are laser weapons, so there's no ammunition. Your missiles. The way they fire right now is whatever missiles are on the top are the ones that will fire first. So these ones will fire first, then these, then these.
Launch complete. Landing gear retracted.
If you have a ship with gimbaled weapons, basically what gimbaled weapons are, they allow your weapons to move. So there's two type of weapons. There's fixed and gimbaled. Fixed are exactly what they sound like. They sit in one location, and you got to move your ship in order to get the weapons to hit. Gimbaled, if you look on my reticle, I have this dotted line right here. This is what's called gimbal assist. So if I target an enemy ship, or well, any ship, I can't do it right now because I'm in an armistice zone, but if I target a ship, they'll have what's called a PIP, a point of impact, and I aim my crosshair at that point of impact, a little circle that is in front of the enemy ship. If that little circle, for a gimbaled weapon, if that little circle is anywhere inside that dotted line, so anywhere inside here, the weapons will actually move to hit the ship. For fixed weapons, that little circle, the PIP, has to be exactly where my crosshair is for me to hit the ship. This right here is your throttle, basically. This line up here is your speed limiter, and this little arrow indicates I have cruise control on. So cruise control will always go to wherever your speed limiter is set. So if I lower my speed limiter, the cruise will always go to wherever my speed limiter is set at. Right now, if you can see the red bars in the red, and then you get the white down here. This red means my ship won't maneuver as good as it could. This white is the indication of where the speed that my ship will best maneuver at. So the higher the red bar, the slower I can turn or stop or whatever. If it's in the white, that's my best performance, basically. This is your hydrogen fuel, basically just your thruster fuel. These are your countermeasures for missiles. This one is chaff. This one is flares. Whenever someone locks on you with a missile, it will Sorry, my kids wanted a snack. So whenever someone locks onto you with a missile, one of three indicators will pop up. So that flare, that little flame icon, will appear basically right in front of your crosshair. The lightning bolt, or one that looks like a Wi-Fi symbol. Flares, you want to use the same indicator, whatever pops up. So if they shoot a heat-seeking missile, then you want to use your flares. If they shoot an IR, missile, then you want to use your chaff. The third one, the Wi-Fi symbol, is actually a cross section. It's actually targeting your ship itself. There's no countermeasures for that. You just have to outmaneuver it. Currently, though, countermeasures aren't working the best, so they're 50-50 whether they work or not. Pressing G will launch whatever countermeasure you have selected. This right here is your G, what is that? How many G's you're taking. So not moving, I'm taking 0. This right here is you can actually set your thruster power. So right now my thrusters are set for like 100%. This is mainly for the keyboard and mouse users. So right now if I use the keyboard, I use 2 joysticks. So if I use the keyboard right now, and I push forward, It's always going to be at 100% power. If I hold down Alt and use the wheel mouse, right Alt I guess, and use the wheel mouse, you can see the bar goes down. So now if I push W, it's only going to go 51% of my thrusters. Basically, that's just for like fine movements. So if you're trying to land on a space station or something like that, using a keyboard and mouse, then you can adjust it using that. This right here is your radar. Most ships is kind of in the same place. If you see a green dot, that's a friendly target. Red dot would be enemy target. This is your indicators. This will tell you if your power plant's heating up, if you're low on power, your weapons are overheating, thrusters are overheating, your shields are down. The key ones: missile lock, radar lock, and proximity. For new players, I wouldn't recommend this, but this little icon right here is decoupled mode. So the way the flight works right now, if this is, I guess I would say, true space flight. If I push forward right now and then let go, it will maintain the direction and the speed that I'm traveling right now. Yeah, I mean that's right. A friendly can become an enemy real quick in this game. So decoupled mode is you control everything. If you want to slow down, if you want to turn, your ship will not counter anything. So for example, I can turn sideways, but I'm still moving to the right. Like I'm still traveling in the same direction that I was traveling. This little indicator right here shows you which way you're traveling, which way your momentum is going right now. This one shows you the direction I was coming from. You can tell because if the arrow is pointing down, so right now I'm actually flying backwards. If the arrow is pointing down, then that's where I'm coming from. If the arrow is pointing up, that's the way I'm headed. If I turn decoupled mode off, so if I make the symbol go away, then the computer will actually stop me from moving. See, now I didn't do anything. My ship computer actually stopped me. Basically, if I'm in atmosphere and if I'm in coupled mode, I'll hover and I won't, my ship won't fall or nothing like that. In space, if I stop pressing forward, my ship will come to a stop. Same thing for strafing. If I go left or right and then I let go of it, it just slows me down and stops me automatically. Decoupled mode, if I do the same thing, I will go in this direction until I run into something or until I decide to stop. Decoupled mode is great for doing any like special maneuvers. So if you're trying to like drift around an asteroid, decoupled mode will help. If you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, then you might just drift into everything. In atmosphere, if you turn decoupled mode on and you don't move, your ship will just plummet to the Earth, or well, to the planet. For the map, whenever you open the map, right-click twice and it'll zoom you out. If you don't, you'll just see a big black space. Yeah, pretty much. So the patch is coming up in like a week or so. You're gonna have to eat and drink and all that stuff. So one thing is when you're quantum traveling, you can get out of your seat and you can walk around and you can do whatever inside your ship. There are some bugs, so sometimes when you get out of your seat, you might just fall through your ship while you're quantum traveling. Let's see if that happens. Okay, so my ship's still flying, so I'm still quantum traveling, but I can walk around and do whatever I need to do. Since you have to eat and drink this next patch, this is a little kitchen here. I don't know how they're gonna implement food and stuff inside here. Right now, your character can carry 800 weapons, 50 sets of armor, and it's not an issue. In an upcoming patch, they're going to change that, so you can only carry, what you're wearing, basically. That's where stuff like this comes in. So if I have a bunch of weapons, I can store them in here, grab out whatever weapon I want to use. Sorry for my kids in the background. This is just storage. I assume that you're going to be able to put your armor and stuff inside these things. Eventually, hygiene will be a factor. So you might even have to use the toilet sometime. Who knows? Some ships have computer systems. This is for avionics. They haven't really specified what that's going to do. If you get into a bed, you can actually log out in your bed. So if I was in the middle of nowhere, just sitting there, I could log out of my bed, and when I come back to the game, I'll be in my ship in the middle of nowhere, wherever I was at. Yeah, hold on one second. So if you push F1, it'll pull up basically your Moby class. This is how you do everything. Select missions, ship components, whatever. If you click on the equipment manager, this is your first person equipment, basically. Sometimes it bugs out, sometimes it has a delay, whatever. So you have undersuits, basically your spacesuit. These are the weapons I have in my inventory. So right now I have a missile launcher that's available. It's not in use, so I can just put it on if I want to. And there's my missile launcher. I have 3 submachine guns and 1 assault rifle. So when the personal inventories come out, this won't work. You'll be able to carry 2 weapons and a sidearm. That's it. All weapons can have optics, barrel attachments. So, for example, I can put a 3-power scope, reflex scope, compressor, a compensator, a silencer, whatever. A laser pointer and a flashlight, I think, are the only underbarrel attachments right now. Sidearms, same thing. Right now, you in the future you can only carry 1, but right now you can carry as many as you want. Pistols all have the same thing. So whenever you buy a weapon, you'll see it comes with a size. So, for example, it's size 1. So size 1 attachments will only fit on this one. This one is a size 2, and this is size 2 as well. So whenever you okay, there it is. So whenever you go to a weapon, it tells you right here what size. So optic size 1, barrel size 1, underbarrel size 1. Optic size 2, barrel size 2, underbarrel size 2. So when you buy attachments, you want to make sure you buy them for the right size for your weapon. Armors, you can do whatever you want to. Colors, so I have all medium armor. I just have a bunch of different colors and stuff like that. Each armor can carry so much weight, for example. It's all based off your torso. So, for example, this one, I can carry 10k of SP. I don't know what the size means, but basically I can carry for example, 10 pieces of minerals, mining minerals. This is the exception. This is a rucksack. This can carry 60 K, SP, whatever. So this means I can carry a bunch more stuff in my backpack. So there's first-person mining. You can also find like plants and stuff on the ground that you can sell. Utilities. Hold on one second. Utilities will be, so wearing medium armor, this armor set I can carry 3 grenades. I can carry 2 med pens, 2 oxygen pens, a utility tool, which could be anything from flares, hacking device, mining tool or cutting tool, and well, just a bunch of colored flares. The multi-tool has its own attachments, a mining attachment and a cutter attachment. And then the utility item I have right now is a combat knife. Whatever you put on your character, you'll see on him. So I have the 3 grenades, my magazine, my weapon magazines. This right here is my combat knife and my pistol. That's my multi-tool, and somewhere around here is like my medic pens and my oxygen pens. Clothing. If you're wearing an undersuit, you can't wear clothing. So for me to put on clothing, I have to take my undersuit off. Yeah, so if you're wearing like heavy armor, you can carry more grenades, more magazines. You can carry more inventory. If you're carrying like if you're wearing like super light armor, then you can only carry like 1 grenade then. 1 weapon, like you won't have a secondary weapon besides your pistol. Alright, I'll be right back. My daughter needs some water. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so when you first open up your mobi-glass, it basically tells you all your information. Name, your current balance, if you have a crime stat. This does nothing yet, and this does nothing yet. But that's kind of self-explanatory once they're working. Your vitals, your heart rate. This works like in atmosphere, so it'll tell you if there's oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. I don't know what all this shit is, unfortunately. Down here, my suit has 1 hour and 20 minutes of oxygen left. My ship has oxygen though, so it's not using anything. EVA fuel, I don't think it does anything as of now. Power output, again, I don't think that does anything currently. I don't know if there's any more people in here, but if you anytime you're trying to land at a spaceport or a port, planet side, you have to hit F1, go to contacts, and the very first one will be some kind of landing service. You'll click the landing service, you'll click this little arrow, it'll call them and it'll request permission to land. To take off, if you're in space, like if you're on a pad, you don't have to request permission to take off. But if you're inside any kind of hangar, then you got to request permission to take off, because that's how they open up the hangar doors. Alright, cool. The first person mission's available. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. So I do a lot of the guide service for CIG. If you guys are new, you guys might have saw the little thing that pops up when you get the game. So I know a lot of questions that new people have, so that's why I'm kind of jumping around a lot.
Quantum travel complete.
But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions, I mean, feel free to ask.
Quantum travel initiated.
As far as first-person combat goes, grenades are bugged. 90% of the time when you throw a grenade, it doesn't throw it and it just falls right next to you. So be cautious if you're throwing grenades. So I have two reticles on this because one of my weapons is fixed and the other one's gimbaled.
Head shield under fire. Shields on. Missile lock. Starboard shield under fire. Shields down. Head shield under fire. Missile lock. Kill.
To lock a missile, hold or press the middle mouse button. You'll see a little indicator. Once it's locked, you hold the middle mouse button and it'll fire a missile.
Under fire. Missile locked. Missile locked.
This currently is the biggest ship in the game, I believe. It's the 890 Jump.
Engines offline.
Basically, the mission is to kill the 20 hostiles. There's a secondary mission to stop the hacking of the ship once I get inside. But there's also friendly security that you don't want to shoot. There's a ship on here you can take, but there's no cargo. As you can see, the security just killed one of the hostiles. And another one. They generally die pretty quick though. For the hacking mission, these terminals, one of them on the ship will have red wires coming out of it. When you find that, you'll interact with it, and that's how you stop the hacking. I'm pretty familiar with the ship, so I know exactly where to go for things, but the hacking changes location. T will turn your flashlight on. Have you guys ever seen this ship before? Okay, then I'll go a little bit slower so you guys can see everything. So there's 3 decks. Whenever you do the first-person shooter mission on this, the first thing you want to do is go to the medical bay. The medical bay you can set as a respawn point, so if I die on the ship, I'll respawn right here instead of having to fly all the way back here. To do it, you'll see it says set as preferred ICU. Just click it. And as long as it says clear as preferred ICU, that means it's set. So if I die now, I'll respawn right here instead of having to fly all the way back here. Yeah, this is like, I think this is a $1,000 ship. So I got shot, so to heal myself, I'll push C. Now your inventory works off what you have equipped. So I had 2 medical pens equipped, so I have 1 more. After I use that one, I won't have any more to use until I equip more. I have like 10 of them in my inventory, but it will only use what's equipped on me. I'm gonna equip a different gun though, I don't like this one. So with first person combat, any weapon you have out, if you die you'll lose it. So for example, if I have this in my hand and I get killed, so the friendly guys, they wear white armor. The unfriendly guys, they wear like tan or dark, like black armor. I'll show you in a second. There's a bunch of dead guys in here. So the medical bed can also heal you. Nope, I'm fading. There, it healed me. You'll bleed out pretty quick though if you don't get to it. So this is actually a group mission. It's not meant to be soloed. The thing about losing weapons as well, you can pick up any weapon too. So if I kill an enemy, I can pick up his weapon, and that will be my weapon from now on. So this right here is a security. So this is what the bad guys look like. Alright, so a big thing with this game is you want to stockpile weapons. You will die a lot, you will drop your weapons from bugs a lot. So in order to do that, once it's safe, go to your equipment manager and unequip all your weapons. Just your rifles. So as you can see, right now I have 2 available and 1 in use for the P8. That's what the enemies use. Once you unequip everything, just save it. And then you can hold down F and you can equip it. And then if you want to equip another one, just look at the weapon and then click stow. And then you can just pick up another one. And now if I look at my inventory, I'll have more weapons. Alright, so now I have 3 available and 2 in use. And you can just keep on doing that and you'll just stockpile weapons. Right now it's useful because you'll lose weapons randomly. So you can't sell the items yet, but eventually you'll be able to. And before we leave, we'll steal this ship. They're all dead, they won't miss it. This is the cargo hold. So I've done this a lot, so I know where the enemies are, generally. They do move, though, sometimes. Currently, the first-person NPCs are kind of buggy. Sometimes they'll whoop your ass. They'll be running around the ship chasing you. Other times they don't do shit. They just stand there. So you can't shoot through the glass, but the enemy can, so be careful. So this is where if you own one of these ships, this is where you store ground vehicles. This whole bottom pad will lower. This is the battle bridge. So right now you can't do anything with it, but if you own one, you can actually sit in here and you can fly your ship from this location. Escape pods, the kitchen, or the mess. Alright, let's see if grenades work. Wish me luck. It did not, it just fell next to me, so yeah, it doesn't work yet. Sometimes they do work though, and sometimes it's amazing. So this is the hard part. There's enemies above me. There's one right there. Now, so sometimes they can shoot through the glass, but you can't. I normally die a lot on this mission, but it's 10,000 credits, so it's not a bad price. Alright, so I'll show you the rest of the ship real quick. This is the bridge. So here's where the hacking was, but I already ran out of time. So basically all I would do is hold F, interact with this, and then it would stop the hacking. This is the captain's quarters. So if you actually own this ship, it looks a little bit different. All the lights are on. It looks clean. There's no dead bodies around, unless you put them there. I was hoping I'd get to knife somebody, but couldn't. This is a capital ship class. This is more like a, think of it more like a yacht. So it has, you know, a mess hall. It has a pool. I think there's a billiard table in here somewhere. It's more for like parties and transportation. Oh, this one's not gonna let me steal it. Well, that sucks. So most of the time you can steal this. You just interact with it. You can get inside of it, start it up. You can't open the hangar, but if you shoot at it with the ship, it'll open up. The terminals don't work to actually open the hangar on this version of the ship. So, yeah, so you can't steal this ship. None of the controls actually work. But normally you can steal that one, but it's not working. The easiest way to be done on this ship is basically kill yourself. If you set your medical bed as your waypoint or your ICU, you have to unclear it first. Backspace is suicide, by the way. You guys have any questions or anything? And since I left my ship there, I have to reclaim it.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
We advise guests.
I'm gonna go swing by some planets and show you them. So right now it's just one system. So this is the entire system. And you click on each planet, it has a closer view. So this is ArcCorp, this is its moons. Gamma rays. So what gamma rays do, if you're a pirate, you can disable a gamma ray, and then you can do bad shit in this area and it won't be recorded. This one has 4 moons. This is the newest one. This is basically a snow planet. This patch that's coming up in like a week is going to have 3 moons, and then you can you can land on the planet, but you can't go into like the spaceport or anything like that. This patch is coming up in like a week. It'll actually have the interior, so you can actually land and go inside the buildings, stuff like that. Crusader, this is a gas giant. That's going to be out, I think, in 4.0. So not this coming patch, but the next one. But yeah, you can go to any of the moons, any of the planets, any of the... Oh yeah, definitely. So ArcCorp is a city planet, basically. The entire planet is just a giant city. Hurston is more of a desert planet. Hurston has some first-person missions on the planet to like go in bunkers and stuff like that. You can do mining on the planets and on the moons. You go to the cities. There's a bunch of stuff you can buy. That's where you can buy ships, rent ships, and you can buy. They have specialty stores. I think ArcCorp has. I think it's called the Center Mass. You can also buy trade goods and sell trade goods at the planets. Hurston has a different one. I can't remember the name of it though. For its shop. Delamar has Levski, which is kind of a shithole. But it has a bunch of I think that one has like a bunch of weapon stores. Inside Crusader, you have Port Alistar, and then if you go to Yella, you have Grimhex. Grimhex is a pirate base, basically. You can buy drugs, sell drugs there. You can commit crimes, you can fight inside the spaceport. If you're wanted, you can go there and you can repair, rearm, all that stuff, and no one will care. The planets themselves, that's where you buy trade goods, generally. So, for example, I can go to this AIDS shelter here and buy, whatever's selling at the time. And then I can go to another place on a different planet or a different area and sell it for more money. I mean, it depends how you play. If you want to be a pirate, then Grimhex is the place to go. That's the place you want to sell drugs at. Planets, though, are huge, and a lot of them are really, beautiful to look at. If you're into trading, there's a lot of websites that will tell you, where's the best place to buy something and sell it. I think in my... Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Big website, it's Gallow, GALLOW, I think, .co. And that's one of the most in-depth trade goods websites, at least in my opinion. If you guys need any kind of tutorials, my YouTube channel has a bunch of different types for new players. how to do bounty missions, trading, mining, all that stuff. If you want to look at it, just search Zatellia on YouTube and it'll pop up.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green.
Basically, it goes over everything I've talked about here, just a little more in depth.
Launch complete. Landing gear retracted.
Thank you.
So this ship's the Saber. It's a stealth ship.
Quantum travel.
It's probably one of my favorite looking ships. So our corp has like the coolest looking city in my opinion. A bunch of skyscrapers, that type of stuff. Hurston is really, it's not like it's a desert planet, but there's like large groups of like city areas. Microtech is a snow planet basically. This next patch, there's going to be a hot and cold, so you can actually freeze to death on Microtech, and you know if you're not wearing the right equipment, you can basically dehydrate on Hurston. So one thing people get confused on. So if you look at this one, there's a stealth button. That does not do anything for stealth. Basically, this is my power usage. If I start firing my weapons, it'll go up, it'll go down when I stop firing. When you click the stealth button, what this does, it doesn't allow your power to go past this point. So some of your weapons might not fire, your shields might not recharge very fast, but it will lower the range that someone can detect you basically. You can change your power distribution, shields, weapons, engines. Right now, they all get equal power. But let's say I'm getting shot at, I might want to put more power to my shields, or if I want to run, put more power to my thrusters, or more power to my weapons, so on. And that was a 30K error. Basically, the server crashed. That is the downside of trading. So if you get a 30K while you're trading, you basically lose everything you had. So if you bought a ton of goods and that happens, you'll lose all the money that you just spent. Basically all that happened though is the server went down. It's nothing on your side, like nothing with your installation of the game, of anything like that. The server just got an error and crashed. Oh yeah, no problem.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Space may be lonely, but you don't have to be. Save on resources and
Unfortunately,
Join
our
the
automated
shipshare
system is
program today.
unable to access that ship at this time. We apologize for any inconvenience. Please try again later, or select a different ship.
We advise guests, please use caution upon exiting the armistice zone, as weapons will once again become active. We kindly ask that guests exit airlock as soon as it is safe to do so.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
This station has been designated as an armistice zone. Tampering with weapon safety protocols is strictly forbidden. For our guests' safety, this station has been designated as an armistice zone. All weapons are currently disabled. For your convenience, our automated ship organization system handles storage of all vehicles. To access your craft, consult one of the terminals located throughout the station. This station is a proud member of the ShipShare program, encouraging travelers to save resources and fly together. To prevent traffic, we ask that all arriving pilots use the designated landing area.
Please proceed to select the following landing pad.
Departing ships only.
Takeoff complete. Landing gear raised.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Quantum drive is now on.
I'm missing my top turret.
Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Landing gear deployed.
I'm gonna go travel to one of the planets. I just had to refuel real quick.
Forward proximity alert. Deck proximity alert. Landing gear raised. Quantum drive.
So how long you been playing for? Yeah, there's no downside to dying right now. Yeah, so you can buy ships and you can rent ships with in-game currency. They will last until they do a wipe, which could be 6 months, it could be 9 months, it could be 3 months. But they just had long-term persistence enabled. They just got it done. So you're probably looking about at least 6 months before they even think about doing a wipe. They did say they will have to wipe though for like when some new systems come in because the systems won't work together. But yeah, like I said, it'd probably be about 6 months before they have to do a wipe. All right, so this is ArcCorp. This is basically a giant city planet.
Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now
Generally, ships cost about $1 million, million currency. But you can rent ships too, and you're looking at like 20,000 for 3 days, something like that. Um, First person mining. So there's investigation missions basically to go find someone who died in a cave. When you do that, you can find minables inside the caves. You can find like fruits and stuff like that to pick up and sell inside caves. It won't make you a ton of money, but like it's just extra money from doing like the investigation mission. So this is ArcCorp. This is the main city. This is Area 18. This right here is basically the spaceport. This thing my cursor's on. Everything else is basically skyscrapers and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. That's where you can land and You know, buy trade goods, buy items, rent or buy and rent ships.
Forward proximity alert.
So this one, I think this whole city, this whole planet's a city. This is the only one like that, though. The rest of them you can land and explore. You can also explore here too, though. You can land in all these skyscrapers that have landing pads, stuff like that. But I'll actually show you the spaceport now. So you always have to request landing. This place is all hangars, so when you go to take off, you have to also request permission to take off too.
Landing gear deployed.
So right now you can land on the buildings. Some of them have delivery missions you can do at the top of them. They're saying that once further on in the game, you can actually have dwellings, like you can rent an apartment basically, and it will be in the city.
Forward proximity alert.
If you hold N once you're inside this square, it will auto land for you.
Forward proximity alert. Forward proximity alert. Autopilot. Landing complete. Weapons offline.
So the way respawning works in the game, whatever spaceport or whatever port you land at last will be the place you respawn at. So because I just landed here, if I die or if I log off, I'll respawn in this place. Once I fly to another place, the same thing, I'll respawn at that place. Only the very first time you log in is when you get to actually pick where you start at. After that, it's just whatever location you stop at last.
Want your company to be in good company? Our park's unique vertically integrated corporate parks offer amenities such as resource sharing and logistical pairing for our rental partners. inquire today to learn how you can invest in making ArcCorp your new home.
So this is the one place that's really tough on computers. There's so much stuff for it to load. Like you'll probably see my game get a little choppy here and there. These things are fine terminals. So if you get like a parking violation or some kind of fine, this is where you'll go to pay it. All the spaceports have them. All the city locations, like on the planet, they all have a train you gotta take. Yeah, so like if you, let's say you're hovering above a landing pad that's not yours, you'll get a fine for that. If you crash into the landing pad, you'll get a fine for that. So everything here is real time too. So when I go on the train, and when the train's actually going, if a player is flying overhead, I'll actually see him flying overhead. The ships on the street though, those are all just graphics. Yeah, no one's out though. Yeah, so the trains will take you to the city center, and most of the time it takes you to like some kind of business center as well. On Hurston, it'll also take you to the perimeter where you can spawn a ground vehicle and drive around. This one doesn't have a ground vehicle pad.
Now arriving. Trash goes in the bin. We will win. Your help keeps our room clean.
Yeah. This place is just bad. I have an older computer though too. I'll be upgrading soon. I'm actually playing on a laptop. So this is the city center basically. That's the ArcCorp headquarters. The big ass building right there. It's a trade area over there. That's a hospital which isn't in the game yet. I can actually play this on 4K. I get about, in space, I get about 30 to 40 frames. In the city, though, it just kills me. Right now, I'm playing at 1080p. In space, I get about 60 to 70 frames. But here, right now, I'm getting 28, 27. But I'm not playing an SLI either. Right now it's kind of bugged for this game. It'll cause it to crash. So if you're here and you want to buy ship components, this is one of the places you go. You can buy missiles, mining heads if you have a mining ship, quantum drives, coolers, power plants, shield generators. Whenever you're buying components, just make sure you know what size components you have. Smaller ships mostly use size 1. The larger ships will use size 2 or size 3. The same thing with weapons. If you're going to go buy weapons, make sure you know what size hard points you have. So, for example, if you have a size 3 hard point, you can fit a size 3 fixed weapon on, or you can fit a size 2 gimbaled. So, for example, if I have a size 3 hard point, I can use a size 3 gimbal mount. If it's a size 3 gimbal mount, that means I can only use a size 2 weapon on it, though. It's a little confusing at first, but after a while you'll get the hang of it. The different weapons, you got ballistic weapons and you got energy weapons. The weapons come in, I think there's 3 types. You got repeater, which is basically a machine gun, autocannon, which is a single fire but they're stronger, and then the third one is a scattergun. A scattergun is basically a shotgun. For weapons, for energy weapons, you got just the basic lasers, and then you have distortion weapons. Distortion weapon it does no damage to the ship, but it disables the ship. It does a large amount of damage to shields, and then once you get through the shield, it'll disable the ship. It'll kill the power plant, kill the engines, kill their weapons. So basically, you use those for like boarding or like bounty hunting, or if you're a pirate, I guess you could use it for pirating. Ballistic weapons, they have an ammo count, but they also do shield penetration. So if you have, let's say you're going against a big ship with lots of shields, you can use ballistic weapons, and you may never get through the shields, but you're constantly still doing damage to the ship. Whereas an energy weapon, you have to get to the shields first before you'll do any damage to the ship. Like this is a energy weapon, and it's an autocannon. This is a ballistic weapon, and it's a scattergun. Scatterguns are really strong, but you have to be really close to them. These are distortion weapons. Again, depends on what you're trying to do, but distortion is more for like bounty hunting and pirating, I think. Because you don't want to blow their ship up, you just want to, get inside the ship or whatever. Missiles, they come in 3 types. You got infrared, which targets IR. Electromagnetic, which targets EM. And then cross-section, which actually targets the ship itself. Cross-section is the only one that doesn't have countermeasures for it. But generally, you can kind of outfly missiles. So if someone shoots missiles at you, can turn and run, and you'll eventually just outrun them.
Initiating ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
And then there's some shady back alleys. Well, currently, none of the countermeasures work 100% of the time anyways. So your best bet is if someone starts shooting missiles at you, is just to run. Because missiles only have a certain distance and then they just stop. All right, so on this planet, this is the place to buy ships. Each planet sells different ships, so if there's a certain one you're looking for, you gotta go around and find it. So the Arrow is kind of the cheapest ship you can buy. It's still almost $1 million though. You can buy ground vehicles. So on these screens, the vehicles are all messed up. Like that's not what this ship or this vehicle looks like. Same thing. Like all of them are just the images are distorted. Most of them have the ships there that you can actually look at. This place doesn't, besides that one. So this, if you do trade goods, this is where you'll buy and sell trade goods at here. And then if you go this way, there's a weapons shop upstairs. So each location sells different weapons. So if there's a certain one you're looking for, you're gonna have to go around and try to find out where it's at. There's websites you can go to though if you want to find out, you know, what sells or what places sell what weapons and armor too. So if you see a weapon that you want to look at, just go up to it, hold the F, and you can inspect it, or you can buy it off the wall. Inspecting it just lets you kind of look at it. It doesn't give you much option besides like what you're seeing right here. And then the same thing, you can buy first-person weapons here. Maybe. Yeah, okay, here it goes. So you can buy attachments, scopes, silence suppressors, compensators, stuff like that. You can buy ship weapons. Same thing. Basically, they're different weapons, but the same stuff that we were talking about earlier. Utilities, you can buy medical pens and oxygen. And then you can also look at, you know, the pretty weapons everywhere. Now all the cities are the same, give or take. Like they all have the same stuff you can do. They just sell different things, and have, you know, different looks, obviously. I almost thought I was stuck on the elevator. I live in Wisconsin, in the United States. I'm military though, so I don't really live anywhere. I live wherever they tell me to live. Oh, nice. What time is it there?
Tram now leaving the station. Stand clear of the doors.
Oh, okay. It's 15:30 here. How's everyone else doing? Yeah, this is the organization I'm in. This is their colors. Me personally, I like the all white armor.
Now arriving. Tram now leaving the station. Stand clear of the doors.
No, nothing's exclusive like that. That's just the colors they wear. This is the one I prefer myself. Really, it just depends on the environment you're in, though.
Tram now approaching.
If you're in some kind of snow, then you want to wear white. If you're someplace else, you want to wear different colors.
Tram now leaving the station. Stand clear of the doors.
Or if you're gonna go do some pirate shit, you got this.
Tram now approaching.
Yep, Grim Hex. Yep, that's exactly it. Oh, I was gonna throw some weapons on, but it ain't working. Hey Star, how you doing? Welcome to the channel.
Want your company to be in good company? Our corp's unique vertically integrated corporate parks offer amenities such as resource sharing and logistical pairing for our rental partners.
Your ship
Inquire
has been
today
delivered to
to
the
learn how
following
you can
landing pad.
invest in making our corp your new home.
Not too bad. It's not. I mean, it's not hard to get there. I mean, people aren't just sitting there waiting to kill you. The only thing is that's just the one place you can go if you're, if you're wanted and not have to worry about anything.
Please be aware that while in the
Port Olisar, you're more likely to get killed there from people ramming the pads.
UEE common laws are still in effect.
I mean, it's not hard to get away from them. If someone starts shooting at you, just fly away. And then they all have arm assist zones, so once you get there, you don't have to worry about someone shooting at you once you're, there. The only thing that's different with that location is you can do hand-to-hand. Yeah, you can get into fist fights there without getting into trouble.
You are clear to launch.
Launch complete. Landing gear retracted.
Thank you, and please visit again.
I mean, really, it's not as bad as you think. Pirates have it worse off if people, they want to play pirates because they get bounties. And right now, bounties pay a lot. So if I do an NPC bounty, they pay like 3,000. If I do a player bounty, they start off at 10,000.
Quantum traffic.
Yeah, but in all reality, though, it's not that bad. A couple days. That, and with the size of the system and the fact that you can only have 50 players on a server, I mean, generally you won't even come across people except for, spaceports. I normally see one person at Grimhex. PO, there's probably normally like 5-6 people there. Oh yeah, it was the other guy that had it for like a couple days. So if you're a lawful player, you always want to go to the mercenary mission and accept a call to arms. Basically what this does is if you kill any hostile players or NPCs, you'll get paid based on how wanted they are. Yeah, I'm actually about the same star. I think I followed in like 2014 or 15, and I've basically been playing like a lot the last year or so. For combat missions, claim jumpers are kind of difficult. But once you get the hang of your ship and how combat goes, the claim jumpers are actually really easy. Basically, the claim jumper mission is a bunch of pirates, so to speak, took over a mining area, and you got to kill. You blow up the turrets. I think there's 9 turrets you get to blow up, and then there's a few what's that thing called? A few prospectors flying around. Bounty hunter missions. If you see with a CS and a number at the end, those are NPCs. If they don't have the CS and a number, then those are players. The number at the end is basically the difficulty. The lower the number, the easier it is. The higher the number, the harder. Investigation missions, like I was talking about earlier, they can be in a cave on a planet, or it could be a ship, blew up in atmosphere or blew up in space, and you got to find the crew. They're all dead, so I hate to ruin it for you. Deliveries, I think you said you did some of those, but basically it's just pick up a box from one location, take it to another. Best way to do these is get a bunch of them that are going to the same area and do it that way. For all the general missions, anyone can accept these missions and complete them before you get to them. I don't have any, but personal is only for you. Most of those are like chain missions. Obviously, accepted is missions you accepted. History is ones you've completed. And beacons are player-made missions. So currently, you can't give people money yet. So the workaround is you create a beacon, and whatever it is, personal transport, escort, whatever. You put whatever amount of money you want to pay, and then you broadcast it. If you're trying to pay a certain person for, like, let's say you guys are mining and you're trying to give them their share, once you click broadcast, they have to select them, or they have to accept the mission, and then it'll tell you who accepts it. And if it's not the person you're trying to get to accept it, then you just cancel it and do it again. The second part of that is if you get stranded somewhere and you don't want to kill yourself, you can accept a personal transport mission, and it tells you from what location you want to go to, and then you enter the value, how much you want to pay, and if someone accepts it, they'll come and pick you up, fly you to whatever location, and then they'll be given the money. Well, what ship did you say you had to start with? Oh yeah, I get lost in caves all the time. Normally, once I find the person, I just suicide and get out of the cave. So I don't think the cargo box or whatever it is for the alpha works yet. But the freelancer can do delivery missions just fine. I'm pretty sure the Mustang is supposed to have a cargo box that like comes out the bottom of it or something like that, but I don't think it's working right now. I mean, if you don't have a ship and someone and you want to do some missions like that, just look in the chat. Someone's always looking for people to team up with. Yeah, or that like people can I can spawn you a ship. You get in it, fly off, and then I can spawn a different ship and still be able to play the game too. If there's a ship that you're interested in buying, I would ask in chat if someone has it and see if they'll let you like use it for a little bit. See if make sure you like it before you actually spend the either in-game money or real money or however you want to do it. Yeah, that and orgs are really good. A good way to do that too. Luckily, I mean this community is really friendly for the most part. To join an org, if you go to the RSI website, there's a way to do it under the. I think it's under the community tab. All right, so this is Microtech. This is the newest planet so far. Basically, it's a snow planet. The um, the port on the planet currently the exterior is there, but there's not an interior yet until this patch comes out. Hopefully, a week or so. But the planet's beautiful.
Quantum travel initiated. Quantum travel complete. Landing gear deployed. Engines offline.
So here's something they added around Christmas. So in order to join a server with your friend, you both have to be on each other's contact list. So you have to add them, they have to add you. And then when you go into the game, what will happen is you'll have an option at the bottom where it says like a join server or something like that. Next to it, it'll say join friend. Basically, you just click on that, you find which friend you want to join, and then as long as it's available, you just keep on clicking the button, and eventually it'll go through. If it says 50 out of 50, then you just have to go back to like the main menu and then go back in, and eventually when it drops down to like 49 out of 50, then you can try to join it then. I'll be done in a little bit, and I can show you if you're still on. My kids will be getting up from their nap time here in a bit.
Flare ready. Landing gear retracted.
But like this location, you can land on the ground and explore on ground vehicles or whatever. It looks like a storm's coming in.
Engines overheating.
Yeah, the in-game is kind of hit or miss though for adding people. So and this is something that they added recently, is the new weather effects. Yeah, and if you guys are in a party, like he's saying, if you guys are in a party before you guys launch, whoever launches the game will actually, it'll launch you both if you click the left bracket.
Proximity alert. Deck. Proximity alert. Deck. Landing complete. Engines offline.
I mean, yeah, they did amazing with details. And you leave footprints behind. Your visor will get wet. They haven't added it to all visors yet. I don't think this one works yet. Currently, no, it doesn't. Just the color, that's it. Your armor does, though. And in this upcoming patch, there'll also be a heat as well. So, for example, someplace like this, you'll have to wear something warm in order to not die.
Engines online. Launch complete. Landing gear retracted.
Hey, thanks for the follow, man. Yeah, and if you want to, feel free to add me. If you have any questions, or if you're ever on, just let me know and I'll jump on with you. And this is where the spaceport will be on this planet. Like I said earlier, though, it's not in until this upcoming patch comes in. Yeah, not a problem. Like I said, I'll be getting off here in a little bit. My kids will be getting up from their nap. But I'll be on again later today. What's your in-game name? Yeah, to zoom, just hold F and scroll the wheel mouse. So that's how you add someone in the game. Doesn't always work though. Alright, well it says it's at you. It said you're added. So that Zatellia is my in-game name. Just add me, and then you'll be able to see when I'm online. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, so my in-game name is the same as my Twitch name. And if you ever have any questions and I'm not on, just shoot me a message.
Self-destruct initiated.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for your help, too. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy teaching people, too. I do the guide service as well. Yeah, I got a bunch of tutorials on there as well. It's the same name. But you guys take care. Have a good day.